Well, here we are, folks, close to the end of our Gamma World Classic Tabletop RPG series. Today, doing part one of Gamma World 4th Edition Combat. It's been almost a year, right? When we start this, back in October of last year, almost a year to get through one. It won't be like that again. It's because I had all 4 editions that I was covering, and we're not doing that again. You live and learn, folks. You live and learn. Hey, if this is your first time coming to the channel, I want to welcome you. You have stumbled upon RPG Elite. Now, this is a place, folks, where we put the RP back into tabletop RPG. And how we do that, we give you tools, we give you tips, we give you tutorials, we give you these deep dives into these classic tabletop RPGs, and we also have real, uncomfortable sometimes, talk about the tabletop RPG culture. And we do all of that, why? For this reason and for this reason alone, so that you can have a more immersive and enjoyable tabletop RPG experience. Earlier this week, I released a video. And that video was part 2 of a small little mini series, and it's called What If There Were No Fantasy Tabletop RPGs? I did this because I said that I was going to come out with another video, and this was back in February that I made the first video. Well, this time, I wanted to do a poll that was going to be evergreen and connected to that video. So I'm going to put this over at my website, and I'm going to put it in the link in the description below, so you can go straight there and you can vote in this poll. And what poll am I talking about? That poll is, if there were no tabletop or fantasy tabletop RPGs, then which genre would you focus on the most? Which one would you play the most? Now, I've done this poll before over on Reddit, got a good response, but the thing about it is that I did the poll on Reddit and it would not allow me to put in the amount of answers that I wanted to have there. So this time I just have a totally different poll. It's got all the answers that I wanted to include. So you can go there. Like I said, link is in the description below. Go ahead and vote. And by the way, if you know of somebody who you think might be interested in voting in this poll, go ahead, take that link, copy and paste it, and pass it along. I'd like to get enough data. Right now, we're a little over 100 votes on this, and I kind of know where this is going. I can see where it's going. Some of this has surprised me so far, but I will share with you, once we get to about 200 votes, I'm going to share with you guys the progress on that. But first, you got to go over there and vote. So you go ahead and you do that. By the way, don't forget to stay until the end of the video, because we got the question of the vid. And also, I'm going to tell you how we are going to do our one-shot gameplay session of Gamma World and set your expectations as far as what you can expect to see. Make sure you stay until the very, very, very end. All right? Let's get into part 1 of this week's video, Gamma World 4th Edition Combat, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so here is the scenario that we have on the screen. So our 2 PCs, we've got Poro, who's right here. This is a mutated render. And Bondo, you guys remember Bondo, right? Last time you saw him, it was in the Gamma World 4th Edition character creation video. Now, these 2 have been sent on an assignment to investigate some activity at a nearby abandoned settlement. A couple of the daytime scouts from their city of New Haven reported that they spotted a lot of movement there. So since the settlement is near their city, they've decided to send these 2 on a reconnaissance/diplomatic mission to see if the new denizens there are friend or foe. Now, they left at dusk because Poro has a little bit of a problem. If we pull up his sheet here, and if we go down here, we've got a defect. And that defect is called nocturnal. We click on that. We see that Poro normally sleeps during the day and is only active at night, and he can see normally by moonlight and starlight. However, during the day, he suffers as if he had diminished sight as a mutation defect. So they decided, let's move out at dusk. And also, investigating at night gives them the advantage of moving freely without easily being spotted. So it's a double whammy there. Now, what they don't know is that the settlement has been taken over by batters. You see these cats right here? Look at them. These cats are nasty. They're nasty mutated badgers. They have a very mean disposition, just like badgers do. So the settlement is within a few miles of New Haven. And we pick up where they are making their way across the forested plains near Dayton, which is located in the Midwest area of what was formerly known as the United States. The tree cover in this area is thick and a good place for an ambush. And a small company of batters are on patrol, and they've spotted Poro and Bondo. And so they're going to attempt to sneak up for a surprise attack. Now, the combat round in 4th edition Gamma World is pretty straightforward. First, you determine surprise. Second, you declare actions. Third, you determine initiative. And then fourth, you resolve attacks in initiative order. Now, when it comes to surprise, it's on an as-needed basis. So it could be that both parties see each other at the same time and no surprise roll is needed at all. However, in this case, we have a special situation. Poro here, he is a scout. Now, remember, 4th edition Gamma World has classes. He is a scout, and he has a special skill as a scout called, here it is, let's pull it up, Detect, Ambush, and Traps. So as they're closing in near the settlement, he's keeping his eyes peeled for any danger. So before the batters can attempt to surprise them, Poro is going to get to use his skill. Now, if he's successful at this, then the batter's surprise attack will be negated. Now, in order to use a skill, you roll 1d20, and a difficulty is applied to that skill by the GM. Let me pull up the difficulty table here. So you have effectively just 4 difficulties. Now, if you want to, you may want to expand that a little bit by adding maybe 2 more in there somewhere, just to make it a little bit more interesting. In this situation, because it's dusk with dense tree coverage, I'm going to give it a challenging difficulty. So that means that when Poro rolls for his skill check, he will add 5 to it. Now let's go back to Poro here real quick. Look at his skill. Now his skill score is 10. That means his total result needs to be 10 or less in order to be successful. So this is how you do your skill checks. It's 1d20 plus the difficulty, which has to be less than or equal to the skill level. So what we're going to do here is roll this 1d20 and see if Poro detects this ambush right around the corner. Swing and a miss. So no, he does not. And so we're going to move on to the batters as they try to surprise Poro and Bondo. Now, since they are the surprising party, they're going to roll 1d20 and add their stealth score. Let's take a look at the batters here. So stealth is down here, and they've got a stealth of 3. So they're going to add that to their roll on 1d20. And if it is equal to or higher then the target's perception, they have successfully surprised them. Now, in this case, we're going to use Bondo and Poro as a group. So we're just going to take the highest perception between the both of them. If you look at Bondo down here, his perception is 12. And we look at the perception of Poro, and whoa, 18. So obviously we're going to take that 18. Now, if they fail this roll to surprise, then obviously there's no surprise. But if they succeed, then they get a free round of attacks and a +2 bonus to their THAC M and their THAC R or their M hack. And let me go ahead and let you know what those are, because those are kind of my little shorthand. So THAC M is to hit armor class in melee. That's what I call THAC M. THAC R is to hit armor class in ranged. And you got your M hack over here, which is to your mental hit armor class. So that's what that means if you're doing a mental attack, or if any of the characters are doing a mental attack. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll 1d20 plus their stealth, which has to be greater than or equal to the target's perception. Let's see what they got here. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to edit this up, and I'm going to just put that +3 here. Okay, we're going to save that. And now we're going to roll and see. So it looks like they need a 15, because again, Poro has an 18 perception. Hard to sneak up on him, but still possible. Let's see what happens. Swing and a miss. So Poro hears them coming, and he alerts Bondo. Okay, so now since everyone has done the surprise and failed, and the skill check and they failed, it's time to declare actions. Now, everyone declares their actions for this round, and once declared, they must commit to that action, even if the initiative roll makes things difficult or impossible. 4th edition is hardcore when it comes to action declaration. So it is in your best interest to know what you're going to do, because there is no changing your action once initiative is rolled. So make sure that you state your action precisely what you want your character to do. This means a PC or an NPC may be able to do only part of or none of their intended actions depending on the situation. So in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and declare the actions for the batters, and all the batters are going to attack. So those who have melee weapons, they're going to move and attack the nearest one to them. And those who have ranged weapons, they are going to do the same. So it makes that simple. Bondo, on the other hand, he's going to move near the nearest one and smash him upside the head with a mace. He likes his mace. He likes smashing people upside the head. And Poro is going to pull back, and he is going to charge at the nearest one. So he's going to take some steps back, and then he's just going to charge right into him with his antlers. So once all the actions are declared, it's time to roll for initiative. Again, you can roll for either side for faster group play. So if you wanted to just roll for PCs and then for NPCs and then that's it, you can do that. Or you can roll for each one of them individually. You roll for all 5 of them. Group initiative is much faster, while individual initiative is more robust and it's active. When you roll for initiative, you roll 1d10. If there are more than 5 total combat participants on the battlefield, just go ahead and go with the group initiative. This will prevent taking forever on initiative and speed things along. Now, another thing that you can do also is allow the PCs to do their initiative separately, but for you to go ahead and just roll for the group. So this is going to make the PCs feel like they're not at the whim of somebody else's role and more autonomous. Now, a character, PC or NPC, they can hold their initiative until later on in the round. And if they hold their action for the full round, for example, to aim, they will automatically get a 10 for the initiative in the next round. So let's go ahead and roll for initiative, and I'm going to do that mixed initiative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for the whole group of batters, and then I'm going to roll for Bondo and Poro separately. So the first thing we're going to do here is I'm just going to choose everybody first. We're going to put them all in combat, and we're going to go over to the combat tracker here. And now I'm going to roll for initiative for all of the batters first. So let's see what they get. Uh-oh, that is really good, and it looks like they just may go first, doesn't it? So let me put this in here for each one of them because all of them get the same. Okay, and now I am going to roll for Bondo and see what he gets for his initiative. Just a 4. That's not good. Let's go ahead to the combat tracker here. Put a 4 up there for him. And next is Poro. So let's see what Poro gets. Okay, gets an 8. Now, in any situation where there's a tie between the NPCs and the PCs always run. They should always win. Shouldn't even have to re-roll for that. So let's go over here and give Poro an 8. Thank you very much. And as you can see, that's what it does anyway. It puts them at the top. Okay, so this is, I'm going to begin combat here. And Poro is going to get to go first. How about that one shot in there where I had the elk attacking that pickup truck? I thought that was so classic, so classic. And people going around be like, yo, man, don't you know that it's mating season? He's got like a couple women in there right there, and you guys want to stop and take pictures? That thing is huge. Move along here. Okay, question of the vid is, how much is combat a part of your campaigns? Give a rough percentage on how much. And this is whether or not you're a player or whether you're a GM. How much of it normally would you say is combat, a part of it? And I'm going to have a different kind of nuanced question to that kind of connects with this next week. I told you that I was going to go ahead and let you know about how we are going to do our one-shot online gameplay session. Now, there's 2 ways normally that you see online gameplay sessions done. You either see it with a whole bunch of people sitting around the table, or just sitting around talking to one another, you see their faces, that's it, and they just kind of play the game. The other is where you got the 5 boxes and they're all around in a row, and you got this overlay, and you're looking at people looking into a camera, and 9 times out of 10 it's boring as dirt. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on them. There's nothing personal against them, but they don't understand that if you're going to do something like that, there has to be something for the eyes, because it is a video medium, right? So there has to be something for the eyes to engage the eyes. So we're going to do it different. We're not going to be sitting around a table and talking and everything like that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have the really fancy overlay and look into the camera and just talk. We're not going to do that either. I gave you a little bit of a glimpse because I want to try to draw you guys into the experience, and at the same time, for those of you who are not real familiar with tabletop RPGs, just kind of give you an overview on how all these things work. So you're going to see the table. You're going to see the Foundry table. You're going to see the maps. You're going to see us as icons talking. You're going to hear the music. We want to try to draw you into our experience as much as we possibly can. So we're going to have a whole bunch of things popping up on the screen after I edit and everything. because I want you guys to, number one, learn. Remember, this is primarily an educational channel about tabletop RPGs. Educational. But of course, there is going to be some entertainment there as well. But I really want you to try to draw you guys in. So I don't know how this session is going to turn out. I don't know. It might be bust. It might not be that exciting, but I'm going to try to do my best. And I think that by having the table and you seeing everything happen, well, at least something is happening. And that's a whole lot better than seeing 5 people, 6 people around in some boxes looking at the camera and just being boring. No, we're not going to do that. So you guys are going to be able to let me know. Still working it out. We're about to record this thing, and then probably sometime in the middle of September is when we're going to come out with this. I'm still not sure how I'm going to come out with this. So I'm excited. The fellas are excited. And my prayer is that when you see it, you will be just as excited, or at least interested enough to stay around and watch it for a bit. Okay, well, that's going to do it, folks. That's going to do it for me. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you like what you see. And also, most definitely, you never want to forget to crush the like button. Never, ever forget to do that. Help a brother out with the YouTube algorithm. All right, that's it. A brother has got to.
So exit, stage left.
Oh, yeah. Peace. 5,000 leaks. Howdy.